Yes, Casey, you're kicking 2021 off against another prospect very
Hmm.
similar to Agapova. Do you see similarities in these two fighters?
A little bit. Yes and no. I think that Casey might be a little bit more tactical. Um, you know, Mariah, she comes out kind of wild. No disrespect to her, she comes out kind of wild. At this level, that's gonna do nothing but get you caught. So I think Casey's a little bit more tactical. We'll just have to see. But we like to prepare for whatever. We like to prepare for any kind of opponent, any kind of pace. Um, and we just worry about what we're gonna do mainly.
So when you look at her and you
Hmm.
stack her up against yourself and the style that she brings, like what do you
Hmm.
see?
I see she's young. She's an up and comer. I just see that, I've been tested. I've been battle tested. Um, I've been in there with, killers. I've been in there with former champs. I've been in there with, people who have had like racks and racks of fights on top of mine. And it's there's nothing, the level of competition that I get to prepare with, there's nothing that I haven't seen either in the cage or in the training room that I'm not ready for. But I'm excited. I'm always excited to get in there and feel somebody different. You know what I mean? Every time it's like, I don't know. I'm very, like, I have a very mutual respect for the girls I get in there and I share the cage with. I think it's a very, like, intimate thing. So I'm ready for the best version of her, and I hope she's ready for the best version of me.
How are you expecting to welcome Casey O'Neill to the UFC?
I'm expecting to just, do my thing, impose my game, um, give her a tough fight. Um, People, they say like, oh, I'm gonna get knocked out, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. You know, I think that looking for a knockout, or what I mean, that's probably a very amateur thing to do, or say. You know what I mean? It just happens. You don't. It's about placement. It's about timing. It's about whatever happens is gonna happen. So I know that. Coach Sean Madden.
Yes.
We've been working on a lot of stuff to set up my strengths, and that's all we can really do is um, all I know is she's getting in there with a tested fighter, and she's getting in there with somebody that's been I don't have a terrible amount of experience, but if you look at the experience that I do have, you know I just hope that she's ready for that.
Definitely. If you do look at your resume, you do have some big experience against some big names,
Thanks,
some
man.
battle
Thanks for the.
tested opponents. Now, one last thing, what do you want to
Yeah.
accomplish in this fight? You know what I mean? Like when you go out there, there's something that a lot of fighters, they have a goal in mind. Is there anything in mind? Like of course it's not about finishing the fight, it's about having some kind of performance.
Yeah, I guess that's true. It's like the goal last fight is going to be different from the goal this fight, but I think it's just about keeping my momentum going. And um, I like the idea of being called an underdog, but I also want to earn the respect that I feel like that I should be earning. Um, so I think that's mainly the thing, is like just keeping that momentum going, and being a respected and recognized individual in the division.
Got Shana Dobson as your opponent, your debut opponent in the UFC. Thoughts on her and the style she brings?
I think that she's a hard hitter. She's more of like a boxing sort of style. I don't see her ground or wrestling being that great. So yeah, I think that she's going to come forward and try and hit me with a big right hand, and that's about her game plan, and I can pretty much go wherever I want. So I see this being a really good fight for me. I was really excited when Mick called with her name because I see a lot of paths to victory for myself for this fight.
Her last fight, it was the upset of the year. I think it's the greatest upset in UFC history or something like that. And
Yeah.
and her opponent was kind of I don't know. Oh, do you think she was overhyped? Her opponent?
I think her opponent was good. I just think her opponent didn't really know how to manage her energy systems. You know, she went out there, she definitely won the first round, but she sort of threw the kitchen sink at Shayna and then didn't really have anything else in the second. Yeah, so I wasn't really even impressed with that fight at all on Shayna's side, you know. Anybody can weather a storm and come back to win when their opponent has absolutely nothing left. So I didn't really take that much from that fight other than she's tough, which we're all tough once we get to the UFC, you know. So I think that my fight against Shayna will be similar to that first round against Maria, but over 3 rounds, you know. That's sort of the fight that I bring. So yeah, I'm excited.
One thing or a couple things that I know about you just from speaking with you the past couple of years is that you're very driven, ambitious. And when you look at your run in the UFC, do you want to get pushed into the big names? Because it seems like you do, because you're going to take the fight against Lauren Murphy.
Yeah, I don't care what name they put in front of me. I'll show up to fight. The only thing that matters to me is getting 3 or 4 fights a year, you know. So I spoke to you on my frustrations before about not being able to get opponents and stuff like that. So now that I'm here, the most important thing is just getting those 3 or 4 fights a year. Could be against somebody who's not ranked or somebody who's ranked. It doesn't matter to me, you know. So yeah, they can push me or they can give me the slow burn. Just give me a lot of fights and I'll be happy. I don't mind.
All right, now how do you envision your pro UFC debut going? How do you see yourself? Do you see yourself finishing this fight?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a finisher. I always see myself finishing fights, and I think that my last fight proved how much I have improved, you know, at my finishing mechanisms per se. So I see myself getting a submission in the second round in this fight. But I would be happy to go 3 rounds and get that UFC cage time in, or I'd be happy to knock her out in 10 seconds as well, you know, and just take the money and run. So any way that it goes down, I'm ready for.
Do you enjoy pounding someone out more than, let's say, taking their neck?
Yeah, I would rather punch someone in the face than choke them out any day, unless they went to sleep. I haven't done that yet, so that would be cool.